Hey everybody, it's Mark, Mr. Bookyboo, and I'm back with another LEGO City update. I've actually got a lot of stuff to share with you this week, so I'm not going to waste any time. Let's jump into it and let's take a look and see what's going on in the LEGO City. We got a whole lot of stuff that's kind of going on in all different areas of the city, and so I thought I'd start over here. Your feedback on the Italian Riviera has been awesome. I actually really like this here. It's such a unique piece and it really adds a lot to that little corner that I didn't quite know what to do with. And I love how the buildings are a little irregular. They're not, at right angles to everything. And so it just really, it's really just a unique piece. And it's one of the first things you see as you walk in. And I'm pretty excited with how that's shaping up. What we're also doing in this area though, and we're gonna get the high level view so you can see, is I'm actually gonna redo the platform that these modulars back here are sitting on. If you look at it from the extreme angle, you can see the platform doesn't quite go all the way to the wall right now. In fact, there's probably about like 3 inches of space where the platform ends and the wall starts. And then I also have this gap here since I shifted this all forward a little bit. I made this little parkway a little bit narrower and I was able to shift things forward. And so what I've decided is I'm gonna shift the modulars a little bit closer this way, and hopefully, if my measurements are correct, I'm gonna have maybe 16 studs, maybe a little less on the end here, where I might be able to drop some facades back here eventually. Long-term plan, we'll see how it works. I don't know, but at any rate, it's gonna give me just a little bit more room to work in this area and on this upper floor. And even if I do just keep these pushed back, I'll have a larger walkway in front here. But we're really trying to get this area situated and finished off. I want to block this all off and make it look, like finished. And so it's kind of bothering me right now that it's not, but I know that it'll get there. And I just want to get everything kind of settled in and get everything situated better. Not much has changed in the downtown area. It's been a lower priority for me, but work continues in this area. And you're actually going to see lots of neat stuff over here. We're going to touch on that in just a moment though. Just a quick look at Ninjago Land and how that's coming along. The train station looks really good. I just got to get more cars and people in here. There's a little bit of brickwork we have to do to kind of finish this off. I want to add some slopes on these burps right here, maybe add a little splash of color, some leaves and foliage and stuff like that. I still need to rework this parking lot down here, get it to the same level as the new road height. And then of course, finish this area. We haven't done a whole lot here yet, but it is slowly but surely getting there. But we're going to turn to the focus of most of my work this week, which has been over here. So as you know, Hogsmeade Village is out. You can go pick it up. In fact, you can pick it up starting September 1st. So I have it on order. It should be here soon. And I'm super excited to get that set in here. And what I've been trying to figure out is how to make it fit in with the layout here. But first, we're going to talk about this little area here. So I got some custom switches. These are custom curve switches. And you're probably wondering, like, why would you do that? What happened, what happened to the other switches, or what's going on with this, or why would you do that? And it's actually really important. It's a space-saving measure. So, switches, Lego switches take up a huge amount of space. Huge amounts, especially if you want to daisy chain them like a rail yard and have more than one. If you want to have 1, 2, 3 in a row, each switch is a base plate and a half in length. And so it quickly adds up in space. If you can consolidate that in any way, it helps save real estate. And the curves are generally kind of wasted space anyway, and you need them for the trains to go around in the circle, right? But they're kind of wasted space in the general sense because they're not really utilized for anything. Curve switches fix that. And so you can see there's actually 3 switches, 1, 2, 3 in this area, and it actually diverges. So it's the 2 main lines are coming here. They're actually covered by the walls, but the main lines come here and then they diverge into 3 different tracks. So I automatically have an extra siding on the back here. And what I'm trying to figure out right now, and you guys can chime in and let me know, is I'd like to get one more siding if possible in this area. And so we're kind of trying to experiment with this to try to figure out how to get one more siding. I have the room. It's just figuring out where to put that switch that's going to come off here if I use a crossover or just a more traditional switch. The other thing is I'm really thinking I'm going to move the Grand Emporium. And I think it's going to go actually on a small shelf behind these guys right here, because I can fit 1, 2, 3 more modulars if I do that. And so that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. I think I have the space to pull that off. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. But I think that's what I want to do, is to get that to kind of fit in that area back there. And then that opens up this frontage area. I can actually put the switch coming right off the end here and pick up a little bit more real estate for some track. I don't know if it's too much track. I don't know if it's going to be too busy. You guys let me know, and let me know what you think. And we can always change it too. Again, that's the beauty of Lego, right? If you don't like it, you change it, do something else. But let's talk about Hogsmeade. And we're going to go on this side of the Hogsmeade so you can really see how it's going to kind of look from this side. So the idea here is we want to have 2 different scenes. I want to set it so that we have, Hogsmeade is kind of its own thing. We may try to do a little Hogwarts up on the hill, up on this plateau here, but that's to be determined later. But the idea is I really want to block this off. So Hogsmeade's going to sit on the platforms that you see here. So there's actually, it's the new Hogsmeade Village is 3 half base plates. So it's 1, 2, 3. So all the segments are going to fit on here. There'll be a little pathway in the front. I've already built the stairs going up. But the idea of it here is I need to block this off. So I'm working on different techniques with rock panels and stuff. I'm using the Duplo bricks to just give me some height efficiently and cheaply. And then from there, I think what we're going to end up doing is actually, you can see them built out over here as I created these kind of blocky, I don't know what you want to call them, like half mountains. But I think the idea is they're actually going to kind of sit somewhat like this on top here. And so the idea is you're not going to see the flat part because the whatever the buildings are from Hogsmeade are going to block that. So if I actually kind of, put it behind as it would be, it's going to look something kind of like that. So you're not going to see this. And if there is a little bit, I can build a little, little brickwork to make it not so flat. But then you're going to see this like mountain kind of behind it. And then the idea on the back side, which is what these panels are, is that we're going to kind of block it off and make it so that there's a mountain slope on this side. Now, obviously, these need to be quite a bit taller to fit, but that's kind of the idea right now. I don't know. It's going to be really narrow, though. It's going to be like the skinniest mountain I think I've ever seen. And I don't know if that's going to look funny. I also have been working on these little corner pieces that you can see here. So these are kind of going to be on the end. And so that's going to kind of, build it up a little bit. But once again, super skinny mountain. I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. And I still haven't figured out what to do in this front area on this side. If you have any ideas, let me know. It's not a huge space. And so that's part of the problem. It's only like straight. It's 1, 2, 3, maybe a half straight base plates with the train track. So I don't quite know what would go there or what would look nice. If you guys have any ideas, it's been a kind of a struggle point for me trying to figure out what exactly I would put in this area. I don't necessarily want to just do mountains or landscape because it's prime real estate. Surely something would look good here. I just don't quite know what that might be yet. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. And so lots of progress, lots of thoughts. I haven't even thought about the mountains in the back. Those have just been as I figure out the front, I'm eventually going to work on the mountains in the back. And the intention there is, again, to kind of tear these down, rebuild them, and kind of maybe have the mountain just in this little corner right here, kind of just going up. And I would love for it to flow from here all the way up into the background there. And then that will ultimately free up more table space as well for the city, because I imagine that the city will run pretty much over to here, I think, or even all the way over to the edge of that tabletop, perhaps, maybe not. So it's going to give me a little bit more real estate to work with for future modulars or other things to add. And so, yeah, lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on in the city. So there you have it with all that. Lots of changes, lots going on, lots of excitement. We're going to see how that Hogsmeade fits. I'm really optimistic that it's going to look good. I think it's a nice kind of different, thing to add to the layout. It's something new. And I feel like it's going to work there. It's just figuring out the landscape behind it and making it all kind of fit and flow, which is important to remember. That's part of the fun for me, is doing all the landscape stuff like that, and making the terrain kind of make sense is important to me. But we'll see how it all comes together. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes along the way. Again, if you have any ideas, suggestions, comments, thoughts, I really always appreciate that. And thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, liking, sharing, all that good stuff too. It really helps me know that I'm getting out there and helping all of you. So thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Take care. Bye.